are in listen-only mode.
Hi there, everybody, and thanks for joining us on another ConnectSMART webinar. My name's Jen Coffey, and I'll be showing you how to access your existing dashboards from mobile to, I'm sorry, this is the wrong agenda. I'm sorry, we're going to be covering new content for the month of October. It looks like I did not update my PowerPoint from last time, at least the intro. So today we are going to be covering new content that ConnectSMART has added to our various product lines. And that is to include our doc site has had a big overhaul and had a lot of new content added. We've also added several report templates that you can self-service, grab, and upload to your tenant and start using and get going customizing those. And we have also introduced some predefined dashboards that basically out of the box are a complete dashboard. All you need to do is select your service boards or what have you right there from the dashboard screen. You can enter your titles and you are all set to go. So it's one of those sort of canned, very out of the box, get you going up and running very quickly kind of thing. So it's more for the person who wants something that they can deploy right away. So it is just kind of a collection of metrics that we've identified. And there will be another set of these coming out in the next webinar next month. So don't think that the dashboards we're rolling out today are the end-all and be-all of what we consider service metrics or what have you. It's just these are the first ones that are out. And then, so then we're going to run through a Q&A session. So if you guys have any requests for, let's say, dashboards that you would like to see before we talk again next time, report templates that you'd like us to prepare, things like that, we do have our lot of energy going into development right now. So today you do have our ear. So if there's anything, any guidance, any requests you can give us to help us prioritize, we would love to hear from you. And then we'll just cover the upcoming webinar so you know when you might want to come back and join us. So without any further ado, so just a reminder that I like to do every time I do a webinar is just to remind everybody that our doc site does contain all the content related to today's webinar. The recording of the webinar will be uploaded as well as the slideshow. Any content we cover in terms of downloads, things like that, will also be referenced there. They'll either be attached to the webinar specific page or it'll be linked out to where that content is stored on the site. So basically, if you miss anything right now today, if you disconnect or you get bored and wander away, you can always come back, watch the webinar, and access all the content we're going to cover today. So also it goes without saying, if you have missed any past webinars, you can see all of our former webinars. They are recorded and uploaded on the site in a gallery. So we are going to go ahead and move on to what is new. And some of, I know that we're eager to get to the report templates and the dashboards, but I did want to reiterate that our doc site has changed substantially. We've redone the home page, we've restructured the menu in the sidebar, and we have some top level items here. So the most common things that you would access from the home page are kind of highlighted here. So getting started, we'll have overview type of info, kind of comprehensive sort of general overview type stuff about each product. The training will have very specific targeted information on how to use the product. So whether it's to create a dashboard, to modify a dashboard, that's all going to be referenced there. And actually, I'll just go ahead and skip through since I've grabbed those things. So for example, in the getting started, it's going to take you down to either any of the products that we have, and it's going to walk you through the getting started info there. The catalogs, we have 4 different catalogs now. We have reporting views, which are part of the data warehouse. So you would access these actually in a SQL management console like Heidi SQL or SQL Workbench or MySQL Workbench. But these are custom views we are adding to the database to facilitate your own reporting efforts. The dashboards we'll be covering momentarily. These are going to be canned dashboards that we have released to you guys that you can just use right out of the box. Gadgets, that is what you're probably familiar with from before, where each of our individual gadgets are documented. We cover the parameters, we cover the definitions behind it, offer you some business cases if it's at all unclear why you might want to use something like that, and then also show you customized versions that we've made of the same gadget, just so you can kind of see how you can modify that gadget or how you can display it a little differently. And last but not least, we do have the report templates, which we will be covering in today's webinar as well. The implementation and upgrade guides, you should have full videos and text content for all of these, but essentially it's just asking you, what are you trying to do today? Are you trying to create something or update something, or in the case of reports or tasks, go ahead and schedule those and otherwise maintain your data warehouse tenant. But everything is essentially an install or an update for the most part, so that will help drive you to the right content. Our training resources are also, they've been updated. So at this top level here, we've highlighted the most common tasks people do. So things like configure a standard gadget or configure a standard dashboard to create a gadget. And then something we'll be touching on today, downloading and adding a report template to your tenant. We've also got some additional resources showing up where you can browse our training videos, and we have the implementation and upgrade guides referenced as well. And then you'll see here it cuts off at the bottom of this page. That is where we've also added the upcoming events and webinars, which also has its own page, but we keep it here so you don't lose sight of it. And those upcoming events and webinars, you'll see we do have them pretty much weekly. We don't have something scheduled yet for the 29th, but there will be one for sure. We've committed to doing these at least once a week. And as you'll see, sometimes we do even twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we've been sticking with 4:30 p.m. Eastern, as that seems to get the most attendees between the East Coast, the West Coast, and some of our international clients. But if anybody has a request for webinars to be scheduled at alternate times, we are open to those suggestions, so please let us know. So our support and knowledge base articles, this is really meant more for you to search for a specific term, an error message or something that you've seen. It's not really designed around browsing. These are bite-sized pieces, how to tackle a specific issue or fix a specific bug. And then we've also got the links here where you can open a ticket with ConnectSMART support. You can start a remote support session. And then we do have labels here, and you can technically browse the KB articles by title, but searching is probably going to be your best bet if you've got something specific that you're looking for. This isn't really in the format of, say, a manual or something that you would want to read through. Then our downloads, we've got everything kind of consolidated in one place for you. So if you're looking for the latest download for the server installation, you can get it here. The Snap and Deluxe Report Designers, the ConnectSMART Developer Studio, which you'll need to customize gadgets beyond what the standard web creator allows you to do. And then the report templates, it actually takes you back over to the catalog, which is where we store those, as we keep those with the individual doc for each report. And then in between these webinars where we cover what's new, and these also actually go into a little more detail, you can check out the release notes. So you can see specific bug fixes, specific features or content that's been added. But this is going to go in a little more detail than I'll cover in our webinars each month about new content that we've added. And just as an FYI, I know we said we have weekly webinars, but the new content webinar is scheduled to be monthly. So there are new gadgets, new dashboards, new reports every month to talk to you about. So by all means, please keep checking back because you will see lots and lots of new content every time. So here we go. Okay, so report templates that you would then pull into, you would then report on your data with. Basically, these are just templates that we've put together, and when you connect them to your data warehouse, your ConnectIO data warehouse, you will then have your metrics ready to go for you. You can schedule them in your tenant, as we've covered on a couple of other webinars where you can schedule them to be emailed out automatically. You can access them from the web console or from the Deluxe Designer, where you can actually open the report and modify it as well. To get your hands on those reports, you would just go to that report catalog, as I mentioned before, navigate to the specific report page. In this case, this is the executive summary, and you would go ahead and download that and follow the instructions that show you what you're going to do that. It's pretty straightforward. You're just going to download it, open it in the Deluxe Designer, and add it back to your tenant with your credentials. But we do walk you through that in a lot more detail. Oh, excuse me one moment. Apparently we have a comment.
Am I on? Okay. For those of you who already have the Deluxe and Snap designers, you will want to download the very latest. We have made some updates to the designers themselves, so you want to get the very latest versions of those. Those of you who have the executive summary report, you will also want to get the latest version of it. We have made some changes to it. We have updated the average minutes to resolution, res plan, and resolved. We are now more in line with what ConnectWise does in their calculations, and we have made some other tweaks and changes in that report. Thank you, Jen.
Of course, and my apologies, everybody. I am joined by Gail Vaughn, our reporting guru here at ConnectSMART. I got off to a bit of a late start, and I kind of rushed through things, but I do have Gail Vaughn and David Ortiz. David Ortiz is on our support desk. Many of you may have spoken with him as well. So if you have any questions about reports or support, we are all here pretty much. Well, not all of us, but many of our departments are represented, and we can go ahead and tackle those questions for you. Some of you may have seen the executive summary before. It is an overview intended for you to review with your client, reviewing a specific customer. So this isn't necessarily something you'd look at across all your customers. This is something you would look at for a particular customer, and you would likely review with that customer or with the account manager to keep an eye on those MSP clients. So another report template that has been made available to you is the opportunity by sales rep. Now this has a different rep represented on each page, and each one is a summary of their open and won and lost opportunities for the current month. So you'll be able to, if you're a sales manager, each one of these is going to go ahead and give you a great overview of where your sales rep is at any given time and help you identify any room for improvement or some corrective actions you can take midstream throughout the month to get those numbers where you'd like to see them. And then another report that we've gone ahead and added here is the survey results by company. And what this does, the great thing about it is it actually allows you to filter down to only the ones where the survey has comments added by the customer. We have lots of gadgets and reports that'll show you an average and trend over time, but there hasn't been a lot that lets you really get down into the comments on a survey. So you do have workflow available in ConnectWise where you can have it fire off an email to you, but there's no great way to go and grab all the stuff you're looking for just to see what are people actually saying to me. So in this case, we've got some nice comments here, but we're definitely going to want to keep an eye on it to see any feedback that anyone is nice enough to give us, whether it is positive or negative, of course. And the predefined dashboards, I am actually going to go ahead and just pull those up and show those to you. I don't have them on the doc site yet, and there's a very good reason for that. They will be part of the next installation, and we will be pulling those into the doc site under that catalog for dashboards that we referenced before. I'm going to drop out of the slideshow and take you to the doc site so you can see, and the doc site and also my local instance of ConnectSMART to show you that. And let's see, where to go? Go to webinar. Okay. So here is one of those dashboards I was referring to. And let me just show you where you can access the dashboards. I have one up, but I need to add several more. These, like I said, will be in the build that's going to be released this weekend. They're already out in beta. It's just not available in the install you currently have. So right here is one of the service KPIs. So this is basically for monitoring a help desk board, keeping an eye on what's been going on today, what's been entered today, what's waiting, what's past due. We've got, say, these customer updated tickets, which everybody always wants to stay on top of. but generally just some general metrics to give you a feel for how you're doing on the service desk today. And that is the service one, as it's labeled here. And let's show you a few of these others that I have added. So actually that will probably get updated to the name dispatch one, just for consistency's sake. The one we just had up is a personal productivity dashboard that we are very excited about. The way the personal productivity gadgets work, and then also, of course, this dashboard, since it's comprised of nothing but personal productivity dashboards, is all of these are looking at the logged in user. And in my case, I'm logged in as myself, but I have a username translation in place. So this is actually looking at David Ortiz's numbers. So if you see anything terrible, it's his fault, not mine. But but these, mind you, are not filtered down to particular boards. So you're going to see some wacky numbers where he's got, 651 past due items. A lot of that's just funky old activities or things where the schedule record never got marked done after a ticket was closed. So those are the things you're going to want to keep in mind when you're reviewing these. And it's pretty straightforward to go and mark them done as you see them. And let's see, so you are able to, let me scoot this out of the way real quick. Sorry. Whoop. Okay. So in this case, our schedule records can come from activities, they can come from tickets, and they can be added directly on the calendar. So I just want you to take note, if it's a ticket, there will be a ticket number you can click on, just like you're used to in our other drill downs. And there is also the activity, which I can't take you to because I am not connected right now with that link. I've been actually making changes to the URL string. But these will take you through to the tickets and the activities, just like you're used to doing now in your existing gadgets. So you can actually go straight to whatever that record is that's showing as past due, and you can address it. So, and then of course, so this is really just looking for kind of a generic, very general idea of what matters most to you. It's very simple to say, well, this doesn't really apply to me, so I'm going to remove it. You can just delete it, swap it out with a gadget that's more important to you. But this gets you going right out of the box. The person who's logged in is going to see their current scheduled item. That's just going to be the appointment that's right now. And as you see here, the webinar, new content, October of 2015. It's working. And then we don't have another item scheduled for David until tomorrow morning at 8:30, and that is our ticket for daily time differential, which is always the first ticket of the day. Past due, due today, and then things that have been assigned to me but I have not acknowledged, all of which are pretty critical if you manage to your calendar. My hours by day has the breakdown of billable versus non-billable, so I can get a feel for how I'm doing utilization-wise. And if I want to drill into those specific records, I can click through here to the ticket to the activity that time record is on. And then over here, we've got the My Customer Updated tickets, the My Tickets Missing Agreements. This is critical in a place where you are working help desk tickets for MSP clients. So these you can filter them down to the board. So there may be service boards where this doesn't matter to you or service types where this doesn't matter to you. But typically, most of our partners do have agreements as a very, very critical control in their service tickets. So if there's a ticket that doesn't have an agreement, there's no SLA applied, and you're at risk of violating all sorts of lovely little SLA deadlines that may not actually apply to that ticket. So that's why it's important to always have agreements on tickets. And then tickets without time, again, you can filter this one out and go ahead and exclude things that are new and what have you. But things typically when they get past a certain point, you would expect to see time on them or you would really wonder why. Most neglected ticket, I am not going to click into it, but this will take you to the ticket assigned to you that you have not updated in the longest amount of time. And then my tickets last updated, that is where you would actually go ahead and set in the parameters. And look, from the dashboard itself, I'm going to come select my boards, my service types. I'll pick the days. So let's say I want to do 14 days instead. It's going to get me, oops, hang on. Let me update that guy. All right, so now I have fewer tickets, obviously, because there's not that many that have not been updated in 2 weeks or more, and I'd wager those are probably internal tickets. And if we set it down to 1, we should see that number shoot way up. Yeah, so that is where you can get a feel for how far back you want to go. That's up to you. Set your own threshold there. And then as you change that, you're going to probably want to update that bottom title to say, say greater than 1 day ago instead of 18 days or 7 days ago. And you'll see that, of course, now it says 1 days ago, which is going to drive me insane. So bear with me a moment. There we go. Okay. So this is a great way to get your engineers started and your other staff out of the box, just have them log right into it. They don't really have to do anything except pick the boards and things that they care about, but you don't have to then go and deploy a dashboard for individuals. So that should get you guys up and running with a lot of kind of useful metrics. And of course, swap things out, add in other standard gadgets as you see fit, but now you don't have to start with a blank slate. So service management is another one that we'll be releasing this weekend, and this one is going to show you some critical info about open tickets, tickets by priority, hours entered by your team today, which you can control easily enough by identifying who you want to see. So if you don't care about some of these folks, go ahead and remove them. Same thing with the open tickets by assigned resource. I can throw these guys out, add whoever I want in, and then I'm only watching the team members I care about. And let's say I don't like that title. I'm just going to change that to Open Tickets by Tech instead. And subtitle, let's say I filtered this down to my help desk board. So that's going to actually be a subtitle on the chart. And it takes just a second to go ahead and update it. There you go. So you can override my titles anytime you want to with something more descriptive for your team. But we keep it all here in the dashboard creator, so you don't have to then go and edit this anywhere else. Those of you who want to deep dive in and customize things at a more granular level, we do have webinars and documentation on how you can do those things, but those are a bit beyond the scope of today's webinar. So we've got these here, and the way you're actually going to access these is they will be in an additional folder. So you won't download them from the doc site individually. You'll have them in the install. It's important because we need you to get a few extra pieces added to your install to be able to support these. And that latest build that will be out on Monday for you will have all of these in there for you. Does anybody have any questions right now that I can tackle for you, or anything that you would like to see? Looks like I actually have a question from Tim Foster. And will the build this weekend work with ConnectWise 2015.6? I know that we are using it. I know right now we're not recommending that you update to it and try to run ConnectSMART with it. We're in the process of finalizing a build. It may or may not. It'll be in the release notes if they're comfortable with it this weekend, but I know that 2015.6 was something we've been actually working on this week to get it to play nicely together. So fear not, even if this one doesn't, within a week or so, there will be one that does. Okay. And Chris said, I got busy taking care of something else, but we'll be sending a link to the recording. Chris, the recording will be linked on the in the webinar pages. I'm sorry, the recording webinars. So if we go to the home page of the doc site, we can just go to training resources, videos, and recorded webinars, and they're actually all right here. And I'll also have a page dedicated to this webinar, so even if you just look up, new content, it should be one of the first search results for you. You are very welcome, Chris. Let's see. Anything else I can handle for anybody, or show you, demo anything, questions we can answer? Okay, so looks like Steven is a brand new user who just got installed yesterday and asking where we recommend getting started with customizing info. I would say, Stephen, actually, probably the thing that would get you through the most is actually if you go to the training resources and go to either create your own dashboard from scratch or, let's see, take a look at some of these others that we've got. We've got a couple different ones that actually go into various details. But most likely, because the custom thing's probably a bit much for the first day, but dashboard configuration, dashboard creation and walkthrough. The gadget alerts is a pretty quick one that goes over how to add color conditions and sound alerts, audio alerts. But yeah, I would recommend definitely the dashboard configuration and dashboard creation for sure. And that will pretty much cover everything. And that's in a nice sort of 30, 40 minutes, but it's going to take you through everything. If you follow the steps on the screen, you will end up with a complete dashboard. So let's see. You are very welcome, Stephen. And let's see. So Randy says, we've acquired another company that uses auto task gadgets and need to duplicate a utilization gadget. Okay, so it looks like you've got a custom or an auto task gadget that you'd like to get recreated over on our side. Randy, if you can actually send us a screenshot or some info on that gadget, we can take a stab at either adding it into the catalog or figuring out what it would take to get you a custom one. Unfortunately, without a little more info, it's hard for me to give you too much specific guidance about how you would add it yourself, but certainly seems like something we could do. Ben asks if we, oh wait, Randy Biggs, Kat has it. Okay, I'll talk to Kat and see what she's got. And I may even be in my email. I have been pretty head down today working on some stuff, so she may have sent that over to me already. Let's see, so Ben Hunter, have you had anyone using a customer thermometer gadget on a dashboard? Ben, do you have a microphone, or would you be able to explain a little more? Is that looking at, say, customer satisfaction or profitability, or what's it actually gauging? We have thermometer gadgets, just not sure which sort of metrics we'd be tracking. I will give Ben a moment to respond. Okay, Ben, I'm going to let you go ahead and explain.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, we certainly can.
Okay, so customer thermometer is a third-party add-in, and basically we're looking at using it to send out surveys from ConnectWise on each ticket and get responses based on just two criteria, basically good or bad. But the gadgets or the API they show on their site would allow us to just basically have a percentage, either like a percentage or a bar chart of showing that what we're getting back response-wise.
I
Okay,
gotcha.
like basically, it's just CSAT. So are we getting 100% good response, or are we getting 50%, whatever that is, real time on the dashboard?
I know they're working with Brad Benner of NextNow and a few other folks on some integrations like that. So if you have any info on that or you'd like to request it, could you send it over and I can at least get them to take a look at it, see how difficult it would be to grab that API and pull one in?
Sure. Where would you like me to send it?
If you just send it to support at, David Ortiz here will make sure that it gets to the right folks, which is going to be me.
Okay.
And
sure thing.
very good. So yeah, so folks, if you're using that, then it may be here very soon. Thanks to Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any requests like that or any inquiries about gadget feasibility? Or this is something that we are very focused on, trying to roll out new content all the time. So without your guidance, we're just doing what we think is the most important. All right, it looks like everybody has gone a little quiet on me, so I think unless someone says they've got something else, I will go ahead and wrap us up, get the video uploaded, and get the page up, and you guys can get going with your report templates and your dashboards. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I am going to drop off here, but if you'd like to join us next week, we've got the deep dive into configuring standard gadgets, including the ones we'll be covering or that we looked at in the predefined dashboards today. And Gail will be going through the customizing predefined deluxe report templates. So if you happen to download any of the templates from today, Gail will be covering next week how to customize those. And the following week, we'll be doing a deep dive into those predefined dashboards and how you can manipulate them. And if we have any new ones by then, they'll be covered as well. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. You guys have been great. You have a lovely day, and we will probably talk soon. Bye-bye.